Once upon a time, a witch loved stories galore, and greedy as she was, she wanted more and more. When she saw that the librarian had stories of all kinds, she said, "I'll capture you, all your stories will be mine." There took place a curious chase through meadow, tree, and flower, till at last they ended up right at the witch's tower. Now poor Marian, the librarian, a prisoner she'll stay, until the witch is happy and lets Marian go away.
Well, hello. Am I glad to see you? I really have a problem getting a story today. You know, Kerfumbly said she wanted a story about hair. But I've been looking in the trunk, and I can't find any hair in there. Not even an old wig or a doll with hair on its head. Now, I did find some things that look a little shaggy. See what you think. You know what this is? A mop. Well, a mop looks a little bit like a stick with hair on the top. So maybe if we put that in the machine, it will help us get a story about hair. Let me show you what else I found. Here is a very shaggy dog. He looks like he needs a haircut, doesn't he? I thought he might help us get a story about hair. So let's put him in the machine, too. And now one more thing, but you do have to use your imagination for this. Does this look a little bit like a plant that's very shaggy and needs a haircut? I hope so. Let's put it in the machine, too, and see if we get a story for Kerfumbly about hair. And we'll turn the machine on. Well, the story is called Mop Top. Don Freeman wrote this story. This is the story of a boy who never wanted to have his hair cut. Everybody called him Moppy because on top he looked like a floppy red mop. They call me Moppy because on top I look like a floppy red mop. Moppy didn't care what anybody said about his hair or what they called him. All he wanted was to stay at home and play. He sometimes played at being a soaring eagle, and he sometimes played at being a roaring lion. A good lion he made, too, without even trying. But the time came when something had to be done about Moppy's top. And it happened one day when he was swinging from branch to branch in his very own chinaberry tree. His mother came out into the garden and said, "Pardon me, but just who do you think you are up there? Tarzan?" "Oh, no, Mother, I'm not Tarzan," said Moppy. "I'm a man from Mars, and I'm visiting all the stars and the other planets." "Well then, Mr. Man from Mars, could you plan to make a landing on this Earth sometime today?" said his mother. "We want you to hop to the barber shop and get that floppy mop clipped off before your birthday party tomorrow." The minute Moppy heard the words birthday party, he dropped down out of the tree to the ground, feet first, then stretched out his hand. "Here's some money, Sonny," his mother said. "I've just called Mr. Barbaroli, and he says he'll be ready for you at 4 o'clock sharp. It's a little after 3:30 now, so let's see you hippity-hop to the barber shop all by yourself." Moppy put the money in his pocket, and off he zoomed across the vacant lot like a rocket to the moon. But just as soon as he turned the corner, he slowed down to a trot. "I don't need my hair cut at all. Anyway, not now," he grumbled, and stumbled along until some bright red lollipops in a candy store window caught his eye. They looked so good he had to stop. While he stood there, staring, what should waddle up but a frilly, woolly pup? "What a silly-looking pup you are," said Moppy, as he bent down and tried to find the pup's eyes. "Well, you're the one who needs a haircut, not me." "They call me Moppy, but what do I see? The pup needs a haircut, not me." And then they both trotted away in opposite directions. Moppy hadn't gone very far before he saw Mr. Larson mowing his lawn. "That lawn is what needs a haircut, not me," said Moppy. "They call me Moppy, but what do I see? The lawn needs a haircut, not me." Mr. Lawson stopped to wipe his brow and said, "Hey, how about letting me use this machine on that grassy patch of yours, boy? It could do with a little mowing." Moppy thought he ought to get going, so off he hopped. But the closer he got to the barber shop, the slower he hopped. He was nearly there when he saw a man on a ladder snipping branches off a low, droopy tree. "Maybe a tree needs a clipping, but not me," said Moppy. "They call me Moppy, but what do I see? The tree needs a haircut, not me." "Oh, I don't know about that," said the man on the ladder. "You could do with a few snips of these snippers, Skipper." At that, Moppy skipped away and came at last to the barber shop. But as hard as he tried, he could not go inside. He decided to run and hide in the grocery store next door, where he could think things over. And this is where he hid, behind a barrel of brooms and brushes and fancy red mops. By and by, a lady without her glasses came up and told the salesman she wanted a mop to help her keep her kitchen floor clean. "What's more, I want the strongest, fluffiest, floppiest mop you have in the store, sir," she said, as she began shaking the mops one at a time. "Here, this one will do very well," said the lady. "I'll take it along with me right now." "Ouch! Let go!" shouted Moppy. "I'm not a mop. I'm a boy." The lady certainly did let go, and in a hurry, too, as Moppy scurried out the door and headed straight for Mr. Barbaroli's barber shop. "They call me Moppy, but I'm not a mop. I'm going to the barber shop." "Well, I thought maybe you forgot," said roly-poly Mr. Barbaroli. "But you're right on the dot. It's exactly 4. Then in one long leap, Moppy was up on the barber chair seat, ready to get his hair cut nice and neat. "Please, Mr. Barbaroli, don't let me look like a mop anymore," pleaded Moppy. "I don't want to clean anybody's kitchen floor." In a jiffy, Mr. Barbaroli was clipping and snipping away and combing and cropping without once stopping, as if he hadn't a minute to lose. Finally, he did stop. He held up a mirror and said, "Well, Sonny, who's that, would you say?" "It's me! It's me without that floppy old mop on top. Hooray!" said the boy in the chair. Then he hopped down and gave Mr. Barbaroli the money. And out the door he flew, light as a feather. All the world looked spick and span as the boy who was once called Moppy hopped up the street for home. Everything felt new now, even the weather. The tree was neat and tidy, the lawn was nicely mowed, and look at the pup. Even he's had a trim. Next day at his birthday party, there was a beautiful big cake with 6 candles lit, and on the frosting was written, "Happy Birthday to Marty." which was his real and true name all the time and forevermore. Did you ever get a haircut? A story like this really could happen to somebody like you, couldn't it? Let's go call Kerfumbly and see if she likes the story.
Ruff, heel. Ruff, sit.
Oh, Kerfumbly, Ruff learned to do tricks.
Why, yes, Marion. After we read the story about Maxie, we both tried our best, and now he can do so many things. Oh, watch this. Ruff, come here. Ruff, up and around and around. Oh, good, Ruff. Yes.
Oh.
Now come up here, Ruff. Right up here.
Why, that's wonderful.
Isn't it? And do you know what else? He loves stories. Do you have a story for us?
I certainly do. Here it is.
Oh, good. Look, Ruff. A story for us. Mop Top? Why, who is Mop Top? A boy. Well, why do they call him Mop Top? Oh, because he has long hair that looks like a mop. Long, shaggy hair. Is there anyone else in the story who has long, shaggy hair? A dog? Why, does he look like Ruff? He does? Oh, I think I'm going to like this story. Oh. Why, what happens to Mop Top when he hides behind the barrel of mops? A lady thinks he looks like a mop? And then what happens? Oh, he got a haircut? They cut his hair? Oh, dear. Did they still call him Mop Top? No? Oh, they called him Marty. Oh, Marion, I don't see how you could possibly have given me a story with such a sad ending.
A sad ending? What do you mean?
Why, Mop Top got a haircut.
Oh, Kerfumbly, that's not a sad ending. When boys get bigger, they like to get haircuts and take care of their hair so they don't look like mops.
Oh, well, it's a sad story for me. When dogs and witches get bigger, they love to have hair that looks like mops. Oh, I don't see how I can possibly let you go, Marion, after hearing such a sad story. Oh, let's have a story with a happy ending.
But, Kerfumbly, that is a happy ending. The haircut made Marty very happy.
Haircuts do not make me happy. I need another story, Marion.
Let me see. A story with an ending that is so happy that even Kerfumbly will like it. Will you look for some stories with happy endings? Good. I'll see you here next time.
Once upon a time, a witch loved stories galore, and greedy as she was, she wanted more and more. When she saw that the librarian had stories of all kinds, she said, "I'll capture you, all your stories will be mine." There took place a curious chase through meadow, tree, and flower, till at last they ended up right at the witch's tower. Now poor Marian, the librarian, a prisoner she'll stay, until the witch is happy and lets Marian go.